Hi guys, I'm back live again. I just in my head, and when it's in my head, I gotta get it out. So, and I still don't understand why I can't go live on my computer because like I tried to for a second for my first one, and the picture is like so super cute, and then it just didn't go live, so I gotta do it on my phone. It's got this weird thumbnail thing where it only has like my eyes. Don't know why it does that, but so so the basis of this. So I'm talking about going further in life and in business with the team. I'm going to chat a little bit about tools and playing your position in the team. And I had a couple discussions along the same lines, rattling in my head. And then I thought of a track analogy and how I can make this like make sense to people. So I was like, let me do a motivational live on it because I haven't done any motivational lives in a little bit. So, the first thing that I heard was Gary Vee, and he was talking about how he's been an entrepreneur forever. Entrepreneur is in his blood, and he sees it's the cool thing to do. And there's a lot of people out there, and he hopes most people make it. But the reality is, he knows that 5, 10 years from now, when it's no longer cool, probably only 20% of the people will be there because some people are number ones, and some people are number twos, and some people are number threes, and it's okay. It's okay for you to be a number two and number three. You can still have a wonderful life doing that. And then I was talking, I was at a chamber event and we're talking about how it was mentioned how some of those individuals need to get more organized. And I mentioned that from Gary Vee. And that was part of the probably issue is like everyone wants to be a number one. And so they just start their own organization. And now you got several organizations that kind of have some of the same mission, and it'd be great if they could just merge and people could have different positions on the same team. And then my sister did a live as well, talking about getting around people that are smarter than you, building a team of people, and talking about people like Steve Jobs, that he didn't do everything that he did. He was the idea man. He had people that were brilliant and wonderful and in some ways smarter than him, part of his execution team. And so again, I had all this stuff rolling around in my head, and me being in the industry that I am in, network marketing, in an industry that I love, that is amazing, and that you are an independent distributor. And what I see a lot of times is instead of people working together on a team or collaborating with different teams, they try to go do their own thing. And it really dilutes your power and dilutes how fast you can go and how far you can go when you do that. When you work with a team and you collaborate and people work with their strengths and you use all the tools that are available, then you can really go farther. And so again, I thought of this when it came to track. Like I was in the 4x1 relay, and I was, by the end of my school year, if you saw some of my other lives that I've talked about this, by the end of my school year, I was the fastest person on the team. But I wasn't fast enough to win a state champion by myself. But by the end of my second year, my 4x1 relay was fast enough. And so we broke a school record, and we got state medals, like in the top 8. So I was able to go further because of my team. I wasn't a state champion by myself, but with my team, I was a state champion. And for any type of relay, you have got to use your tools in order to grow. That's what makes you grow further. So you have to know how to do your handoffs. You have to know where your steps exactly are. And that's the reason why you can go faster, is because you have people running the 100, have a person handing a baton, and they're at top speed. You're giving it to the next person at top speed. And that's what allows you to go faster together. And so, again, you got to know the right tools to use, to leverage. When it comes to relays, you use a baton. I'm sure before maybe they just slapped hands and then they thought, oh, it'll be better to have a long stick. And so, if I decided not to use that baton, then I probably would damage my team by not using that. So you got to use the tools. Another thing, like with track, you have specific shoes. You have track shoes. When I first started track, I didn't know anything about it, and I came to practice with like some basketball high top gym shoes, and somebody gave me some running training shoes, and they're like, "Oh, and by the way, before you have your first track meet, you're going to want to buy some, track shoes." I couldn't use just basketball shoes or football cleats. I had to have track spikes. I had to have the right tools. I also had to learn how to use blocks. When you see people and they're doing sprints, they come out of blocks because it helps propel them faster and you gets them aerodynamically going faster. And that was one of my strengths and skills. I could come out of blocks like no other. Like there was so many times where one of my coaches said, "Yeah, it's amazing to watch you race because you get up to top speed like that. You bust out of them blocks, and half the time I'm watching a race and everybody's trying to catch you." I could get to like within the first 10 to 40 meters, like I could take on guys. Like I got up to top speed faster than most people. And so I would be, if I did a 40-meter race against a guy, I could almost take them. So using my tools made me go faster by myself. Using the tools properly with my team made me go faster as well. And then I had to play my position. So I was the fastest person on the team. And you usually structure your 4x1 in a certain way based on the strengths and the speed of the individuals. Usually, the fastest person on the team is going to be the anchor. The most consistent person on the team is going to be your third leg because that is the longest leg, and you want to make sure that there's not really that much variation before you give it to the last person. Usually, the first person is going to be your second fastest person. That's usually how you structure it. Now, I, having a good coach and knowing that I had a good coach and they knew what my strengths were, they knew that part of my speed was the way that I came out of blocks in my competition to want to win and to dominate. So even though I was the fastest person and maybe you could have put me at the anchor, I was put at the front because blocks were part of my strength and wanting to compete and dominate against the other people was part of my strength. So it made much more sense. Now, could I have argued and been like, well, the people that get cheered for is the anchor. Everyone comes and gives that person the hug. I'm really the fastest person. I should be there. It would have damaged my team probably because my split would have been probably lower because my split, my time I run is faster when I come out of blocks. And the rest of the people have to do it, on foot. So those were the things that I would think about and I want to share. If you are in network marketing like me, think about that. Are you collaborating with the rest of the people on your team? Are you using all the tools like the Facebook classes that other people do, collaborating for large events? Because if you do use your tools and do use those and leverage them. Leverage was the word I was looking for. Leverage your tools. You can go farther and faster. And then I was just thinking about, when I mentioned Gary Vee, he said not everybody's a 1, 2, or 3, but it doesn't have to be 1, 2, or 3. It's just making sure that you're playing to your strengths. Some people lead from the front. Some people lead from the stage. That's their personality. They're charismatic. That's what they do. They're able to give clear directions in a Facebook group. They're good at leading a Zoom call. They're good at creating a schedule. Some people lead by example with their consistency. Some people lead by emotional support. Every position in that 4x1 relay had to do their job for us to work, and the tools had to be known and we had to be able to complete the task. There were so many times when we didn't get medals. There were so many times when we didn't perform our best because we didn't connect on that handoff, or we were tired, or I came out of the block slow, or whatever. But when you are working together as a team and everyone has their strengths and they play their position, you can go faster. Just like we went faster and broke a school record, which I still got to go back up to Traverse City Central High School and see if it's still there because I haven't been in a really long time. You can also go faster and further in life. So I challenge you, especially if you're in some type of business that requires a lot of people and work. Are you using all of your tools? Are you leveraging all your tools? Are you in your position? And are you working with real teamwork? If you're not, you're probably a little bit overwhelmed and feeling like you have too much to do. You really will be able to go faster and further if you do those things. So work with the team, leverage and use those tools, and play your position. Thanks, guys.